Hello, this is Lacquerography and this is my wish list for July 2025's Hella Handmade Creations. I've already gone ahead and made a preliminary first impressions wish list, and right now it actually reads that I have 15 items on that wish list. In fact, it's actually 14 items with one honorable mention. So let's just dive right in and take a look at the 14 items plus one that are catching my eye this month. The first item on my wish list is by Arcana Lacquer, and this one is called Sealed Envelope. Arcana Lacquer has joined HHC. Their first series is themed around cozy gaming, with the first polish inspired by the opening scene from Stardew Valley. Sealed Envelope has a dark periwinkle crelly base with orange to yellow shimmer. I am noticing here that it's listed as being a capped pre-order, and looking at the bottom of the description here, it does say that there is a cap of 120. What that means is that in this case, the maker, Arcana Lacquer, is committing to creating 120 of these items before it's considered sold out. So first of all, welcome to HHC Arcana Lacquer. This is a brand that I've been aware of. I've been following along maybe for about the last 6 months or so. I've seen some online swatch footage. I've noticed that Arcana Lacquer has also been in Polish Pickup, but I have yet to make my first Arcana Lacquer purchase. This polish is really quite beautiful. It actually interests me that it says that it's a dark periwinkle crelly. Dark periwinkle does look very deep purple, I suppose. My eyes are seeing something that's very much a purple leaning polish. And I'm really loving the look of this warm shimmer that's running through this polish as well. This one certainly is an absolutely gorgeous polish. What I will have to do though is just see how it compares to some of the others in my collection. I do know that I have quite a collection full of shimmer polishes, and I'll just have to make sure that this one is in fact unique enough for me to go ahead and have this be my first Arcana Lacquer purchase. It really is quite special though. This polish is by Arcana Lacquer, Sealed Envelope. This next polish up is by BCB Lacquers, and this one is called Let's Do This One More Time. This one is also listed as being a capped pre-order polish, and looking down through the description, it says that this one has a 300 cap. So in this case, BCB Lacquers is committing to creating 300 of these polishes before they're considered sold out. BCB Lacquers begins a new series inspired by the Spider-Verse, with the first polish inspired by Miles Morales. Let's Do This One More Time is a bright red with orange undertones jelly with a strong green-blue purple shimmer. I've kind of been noticing that over the last few months, BCB Lacquers has been releasing several polishes that appear to have this type of a formula. Really bright based polishes, often kind of a jelly type quality, I think, but then with this shimmer running through it. There's something about this look here in the summertime. It is the 9th of July right now when I'm filming this. There's something about colors like these that are really drawing me in. I'm really loving about this polish that it is this bright red, but it's got orange undertones. Those orange leaning reds I find are ones that I don't have very many of at all in my collection. Reds are a newfound love of mine. I don't own too many at this point in my collection, but I would say more of the reds in my collection are cooler leaning with sort of blue undertones to them rather than orange undertones. So right there, that appeals to me. And then there's this shimmer running through it. I love that cool aspect to it. That shimmer is described as being a strong green, blue, purple shimmer. And I can really see that wonderful contrast, the warm base contrasting with the cool shimmer. I just think it's such a fresh and fun look. Now I will have to take a look at my collection. I believe that this one is quite unique to my collection, but I will have to do a bit of a deep dive just to make sure that it really is. Shimmer polishes are probably what I own most of in my collection at this point. I really do have to make sure that this one does stand out enough among the others, but I really do have a strong feeling that it will. This one is so interesting, looking at the different lighting effects and extreme angles and things like that too. I love how differently that shimmer seems to show up in the images here on the left, both the upper and lower. It does have that orangey red base look with kind of a greenish, almost gold type shimmer. But then on the right, it's got a much more purpley cast, probably due to the shimmer, just with the shifting light. Just such a cool polish. I think this one would really come alive in person. This beautiful, bright polish is by BCB Lacquers. Let's do this one more time. This next polish up is by Bee's Knees Lacquer, and this one is called Okie Dokie. This one is a magnetic polish. This one is also listed as being a capped pre-order polish, and it says here that there are 500 of these being made available this month. With availability caps on so many of these products, I will have to consider making my purchase right when the shop opens at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time on July the 14th. So that is just after midnight my time in the Eastern Time Zone. Otherwise, I might run the risk of some of these items being sold out. Bee's Knees Lacquer continues their Fallout series. Okie Dokie is a deep vault dweller blue with a strong gold magnetic shimmer. Now, I'm only vaguely familiar at all with the inspiration here. I think I watched the very first episode of the TV series of Fallout. I kind of have an idea just from that one episode of the sort of overall aesthetic and that kind of thing of the show. I love that so many of these polishes in this series have had a bit of a grungy, deep, mysterious kind of look to them. And this one for me has a different kind of pull as well. First of all, the magnetic effect here is stunningly beautiful, but there's something about this color combination, this deep, deep blue, as well as the strong gold magnetic shimmer that reminds me so much of fall, specifically September, specifically back to school, and deep denims with, usually it's copper rivets and things like that, but that idea of metallic rivets on the deepest, darkest denims. There's something about that aesthetic that always draws me in, and this one has that. The magnetic effect here really looks so deep and mysterious and magical, and it appears to be quite strong as well, which is appealing to me. You can really see that golden colored magnetic pigment pulling quite a bit. It looks to me like in this swatch, maybe the pinky finger and the middle finger are maybe done in the velvet style, perhaps maybe not magnetized, one of them. And then you've got the cat eye style on the index and the ring finger. And I think in every state here, it is looking stunningly beautiful. Here's another shot that shows those effects pretty well. I think it looks beautiful no matter what way the swatcher is showing it. This is also a polish that's looking gorgeous on everybody. I think that this one's quite an elegant and mysterious pick. This one I think may be one of my top picks this month. This one is by Bee's Knees Lacquer, Okie Dokie. This next one up is by Cleona Cosmetics, and this one is called Primeval Forest. This one, looking down at the description, has no cap. So what that means is that in this case, the maker, Cleona Cosmetics, can create as many of these polishes as are needed to fulfill all orders this month. Cleona Cosmetics continues their fantastic forest series. Primeval Forest is reminiscent of redwood trees in old growth forests. This magnetic nail lacquer features a copper pull that reveals a cool forest green base with holographic flakes. It's a cousin to our Devil's Bridge nail lacquer. We recommend applying 2 coats and then magnetizing the third for opacity. This nail lacquer is also beautiful in the non-magnetic state as a grungy duochrome shimmer. I really love the fact that this maker is providing all those extra notes about the recommended application, 2 coats and then magnetizing the third, as well as also the recommendation that this nail lacquer also looks good in the non-magnetic state, looking like a duochrome shimmer. So when you've got that kind of versatility with a polish, being able to magnetize it in different ways, or also having it look beautiful unmagnetized, I mean, that just makes it kind of like a 2-in-1 or a 3-in-1 polish for me, with so many different looks coming out of one bottle. I realize it's July, but I think in my heart, fall is probably my favorite polish wearing season. I love all these browns and coppers. In fact, I find that sometimes copper is a color that is a little bit lacking in my collection. I find that there's a richness and a decadence to a copper kind of shade, and there's so much about this one that's really appealing. Adding to the decadence here are also those holographic flakes. I'm sure that they play up against any lighting condition beautifully. Now, although this polish is really beautiful and I know that I would love it, it does say here that it's a cousin to their Devil's Bridge nail lacquer, and that's actually one that I just recently purchased. Since I already own that one in my collection, I will have to see how closely this polish resembles Devil's Bridge. And if it is too close, then I really shouldn't be purchasing this one, even though I think it's gorgeous. This is a colorway that I know I would love. I know that I'd get a lot of use out of it, but if it too closely resembles one that I already have, then I really shouldn't be purchasing it. So we'll see what happens with this one, but it is incredible. This beautiful magnetic polish is by Cleona Cosmetics, Primeval Forest. This next one up is by Cleona Cosmetics, and this is their encore offering called Heart of Fallen Star. Just like the last polish, this one also has no availability cap at this point. For their encore, Cleona Cosmetics has chosen the first polish from their first theme, which was an homage to the iconic filmmaker Hayao Miyazaki and inspired by the iconic and beloved character Calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle. Heart of Fallen Star features a hot red-orange jelly base juxtaposed by a bright cobalt indigo flash to represent the duality of Calcifer's fire and star forms. This one is best worn in 2 to 3 coats. This one is not actually on my wish list this month. This one is my one honorable mention polish. I own this polish. I just wore it really recently for the very first time, and this polish is gorgeous. It looks beautiful in all these swatch photos, but it looks even better in person. The shimmer that comes off of this one, I don't think can really quite be captured through photos or even video. It really does come alive in natural lighting. These swatch photos are all gorgeous, but I do really believe that this polish absolutely comes alive in natural lighting. There's such a brightness to this polish, and that shimmer is something special. I just wore this polish quite recently, just in the last couple of weeks, and I love it. And this is one that I highly recommend. This one is an encore offering. What happens is in Hella Handmade Creations, usually it's about 4 or 5 different makers that are invited back each month in alphabetical order to bring back a polish from the past. This one is one that if you're at all on the fence about whether or not to get this one is really something special. I will not be buying a backup bottle of this one. My collection has actually grown incredibly quickly, and I do need to slow down my purchasing. The last thing I really need are backup bottles of things, but I love this polish and I will savor it every time I use it. This incredible bright shimmer polish is the Encore polish by Cleona Cosmetics called Heart of Fallen Star. This next one up is by Cracked Polish, Romance is Dead. This one is another capped pre-order polish with only 350 of these being made available. Cracked Polish continues their Down the Indie Rabbit Hole series with a polish inspired by not needing a prince. Romance is Dead is a deep maroon with pearlescent white and green shimmers. This one is another decadent color. This is so beautiful, this deep maroon color. This is a type of red, or I guess reddish purple, that I know is a safe pick for me. I've always kind of been drawn to maroons, burgundies, really deep variations on red for quite a long time. This one makes me crave fall weather. It's funny, I love summer. I'm off during the summers, I'm a teacher. You'd think that I should love summer and have it perhaps as one of my favorite seasons. In fact, I don't. Fall has really quickly become one of my favorite seasons, winter as well. And this one just has all the wonderful, rich, decadent, but also cozy fall and winter vibes to me. I really love the look of this one. Taking a look at a few more swatch photos here, showing kind of close-ups. I'm liking the look of this shimmer quite a bit. I'm actually kind of intrigued by this as a matte polish as well. I'm not generally on team matte at all, but it has such an interesting look. Rather a velvety kind of sheen with the addition of that pale shimmer that runs through. Kind of a cool thing. This is another polish where I'll have to take a look at how this one stacks up among others in my collection to see how truly unique this base color is among others in my collection. If it passes that test though and is a standout for my collection, this one will surely be added to my cart. I think it's gorgeous. This beautiful deep maroon polish is by Cracked Polish, Romance is Dead. This next polish up is by Indie Polish by Patti Lopez. And this is a duo offering, and the duo includes Desert Sunset and Elephants. This duo is a capped offering with only 100 being made available this month. The components of this duo are also available sold separately. Indie Polish by Patti Lopez continues their Famous Painters series with polishes inspired by Salvador Dali's The Elephants. Desert Sunset has a brown base with red, golden, green aurora shimmer. Elephants has a mix of iridescent and multichrome flakies with silver red reflective glitters. And there is also a note here saying that some swatches are shown over various base colors. So that's something I'll just have to make sure that I'm looking really, really closely at all the different swatch photos to be sure that I'm liking the look of these polishes and not necessarily being sort of blinded by alternative base colors that the swatchers might be using. Now, I realize that these are both offered individually, but there's something about the way these two look together that has my heart. I am not an artist myself, but I did study art history. Of all things, that ended up as a minor for me in university. It's really kind of funny for me because I really am not a visual artist in any way myself. Salvador Dali's The Elephants is quite an art piece. It's somehow disturbing, almost decaying, but yet it's also beautiful and delicate at the same time. Salvador Dali's surrealist style is just so fascinating to me, and I find that his works, the more you look at them, the more you gain from them as well. Such a mystery and an intrigue. He really was a master of his own style. The colors represented in this duo really do play upon the colors that you see in the artwork. I love brown or neutral leaning polishes. In fact, they are some of the polishes in my collection that I've been pulling most often to wear. And indie polishes that have this brown or neutral look are especially appealing to me because not only do they match sometimes perhaps a work appropriateness or an occasion appropriateness that I need to have in my life fairly often, but it gives you that added oomph that only an indie maker can give. There's something so special about these neutral indie polishes and how these makers create such magic within an interesting, safe color way. The fact that this has all happened, plus it's also inspired by this incredible piece of artwork, this one is another one that I have to consider really quite carefully. Purchasing a duo is a bit of a financial hit for me. That is an expensive commitment. But if I still love this one as much as I love this one now, this one will surely be in my shopping cart when the shop opens on July 14th. I love the look of these together. I know that I would also get use of these polishes worn separately as well. This incredible duo is by Indie Polish by Patti Lopez, and the components of that duo are Desert Sunset and Elephants. This next polish up is by Jen and Berries, and this one is called Technical Difficulties. This one is another capped pre-order polish with only 280 being made available. Jen and Berries continues their Great British Bake Off series with a polish inspired by the Swedish princess cake, arguably the most difficult cake to ever grace the technical challenge. Technical Difficulties has a pink tinted base with aqua blue purple shifting shimmer and holographic flakes. The inspiration for this sounds so intriguing. I think I have to watch the Great British Bake Off. I've never watched it before, but this sounds fascinating. The Swedish princess cake. I'm going to have to look this one up later and see how that has inspired this polish, but it sounds really intriguing. This is just purely beautiful. This is another polish that I think would fit into my lifestyle beautifully. I think this polish for me could be an all seasons of the year, all occasion kind of polish. It is special, but yet not too overwhelming. It's got a real beauty to it. This shimmer just looks outstanding. The aqua blue purple shimmer, this nice cool aspect, is really quite fresh and light and ethereal. To me, it brings quite a whimsy to the look of this polish. And that sparkle from the holographic flakes as well. That sparkle along with the shimmer and this really light, fresh base color, I think this one would be show-stopping in person. Jen & Berries is a brand where I've been purchasing a little bit more from them lately, and every single polish that I've managed to purchase exceeds every expectation. I'd love to own more Jen & Berries polishes in my collection, and I think that this one would be an incredible one to have. This one is by Jen & Berries, Technical Difficulties. This next polish up is by Pad Lacquer, and this one is called The Gambler. This one is a capped pre-order polish as well, and I can't even believe it. There are only 50 of these being made available this month. That is an incredibly small cap, and if this one does make the final cut for me, I will have to consider making my purchase as early as I can when the shop opens on July 14th, as close to 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time as possible. 50 items is a very small cap. Pad Lacquer begins a new theme inspired by all things country and western, with a polish inspired by Kenny Rogers. The Gambler has a dusty blue base filled with green, orange, red Aurora shimmer and a scattering of blue, green, pink, orange crystal chameleon flakes. I was kind of laughing there. The fact that this one is inspired by all things country and western, I don't normally think of myself at all as a country western person at all. However, when I think about it, there's actually a shocking number of songs in this genre that have kind of snuck up on me and are favorites. I'm Canadian. Shania Twain is like a national treasure. And so, I mean, you have to love her. And I mean, I realize she's sort of country, but with that crossover flair as well into the pop realm too. But anyway, the fact that this is inspired by country and western, I kind of shake my head because I'm like, oh, that's not me. But actually, I mean, maybe deep down inside, maybe I actually do have kind of a country western love in me. Because then there's this inspiration, Kenny Rogers and The Gambler. And actually, that was what first drew me in. I thought, are you kidding me? The Gambler? Like, I immediately went to Kenny Rogers, The Gambler. This song has a funny history in my life. It has to do with a friend's wedding. And another mutual friend, this song came on and she grabbed a microphone and she started singing this song towards the end of the evening. So you can probably imagine how that sounded and how that went towards the end of a wedding reception. Anyway, this just brings back all kinds of really funny, happy memories of these people that have been in my life for a very long time, for decades. And The Gambler, it's a great song. Kenny Rogers, amazing. And boy, all the memories that flood back. Then, though, there's this polish. So I find it really interesting that this one's described as a dusty blue-based polish. I guess I can see that a little bit. But what is really capturing my attention is this shimmer, but especially the crystal chameleon flakes. Those flakes in here are really quite interesting. This polish is quite unique for me. I don't think I own anything like this in my collection. Pad Lacquer is an Australian brand, and any of their polishes that I've acquired through Handmade Creations. And I think I may only own perhaps 2 of their polishes. It really isn't very many. This is a brand that's difficult for me to acquire here in Canada. We don't have a stockist for them here that I'm aware of. This polish is so interesting, and I'd love to give some support to Pad Lacquer. I still am a little bit hung up on the fact that it says that it's a dusty blue base here. What my eye is seeing is almost like a gunmetal effect. So I think that's probably the shimmer and the flakes, maybe also the depth of that base as well is adding to that look. I would really be intrigued to see this polish in person and add it to my own collection just so I can see all the multifaceted ways that this polish presents itself. I'm really intrigued by this one. This polish is by Pad Lacquer, The Gambler. This next polish up is by Moonshine Manny, and this one is called Tern. This is another cap pre-order polish with only 200 being made available this month. Moonshine Manny begins a new series inspired by dragons, with the first polish inspired by a dragon from the Fourth Wing series. Tern is a black jelly glowing with sapphire, violet, red magnetic shimmer, black and copper micro glitters, and silver reflective glitter. Now, I really hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. Tern, I apologize to all Fourth Wing lovers. If I am saying that wrong, please feel free to correct me if I'm mispronouncing. Fourth Wing is a book series that I have not read yet, but I actually own it and I can't wait to read it this summer. I have a little bit of time. I am a teacher on holiday right now, and I finally have some time to read for myself. So I look forward to trying out this genre. Romanticides are a completely new to me genre, and Fourth Wing I've heard great things about. I look forward to giving it a go. But this polish though, this is gorgeous. Another really deep offering this month. I'm actually really kind of surprised that it's July and there's so many deep, dark polishes being offered this month. But I guess it really is, because once this gets shipped out, we're looking at it being August, and we're very quickly coming into fall at that point. So, I mean, I guess really it makes logical sense that that's what we're seeing. But the depth of this polish, the effect of this magnetic, and oh my goodness, the sparkle. There is a lot happening in here. Black and copper micro glitters, silver reflective glitter, so this would play in the light beautifully, I can only imagine. It's got that deep dark black jelly glowing base with a sapphire violet red magnetic shimmer. To me, all that amounts to just deep, dark, mysterious beauty. And that's what I'm seeing on everybody's nails here. There is such a beautiful assortment of swatch photos for this polish, and I'm really in love with every single one of them. I am pretty sure that this is one of my very top picks this month, and with a cap of only 200, I'm going to have to make sure that I purchase early. I think I'd be pretty upset if I couldn't add this polish to my collection. I think this is something pretty special. This beautiful, sparkly, glittery, magnetic polish is by Moonshine Manny, Tern. This next polish up is by Nailed It, and this one is called This Tea is Nothing More Than Leaf Juice. This one is another capped pre-order polish with only 300 being made available this month. Nailed It continues their Avatar: The Last Airbender series with a polish inspired by Uncle Iroh, and I hope I said that correctly. This tea is nothing more than leaf juice, has a green to purple multichrome base with a light pink magnetic and a touch of hollow. This is another incredible magnetic with all kinds of things happening inside it. This multichrome effect, the light pink magnetic pigment as well, and that hollow. Like, there's such a beautiful sparkle and variation in color in every single swatch photo. This is another one that looks totally beautiful on everyone in any which way. It looks like it has a really cool magnetic effect in the velvet style. I'm assuming that this is in the velvet style here, with all that pink magnetic pigment being pulled up to the top. But then you've got that multi-chrome effect as well. Like, this one is another really interesting one. I've got to watch out with all my purchasing of magnetics too, because I find that my life is so busy these days. I don't often pull my magnetic polishes very much because it just takes a little bit extra time to apply them, having to magnetize each finger. This one is so beautiful though. I'd love to play around with it. It looks like it really is quite a chameleon in a bottle. This beautiful magnetic polish is by Nailed It, This tea is nothing more than leaf juice. This next one up is by Night Owl Lacquer, and this one is called I'll Pay Attention to Myself. Night Owl Lacquer continues their Bob's Burger series with a polish inspired by Tina. I'll Pay Attention to Myself is a light, bright blue crelly filled with metallic, bright blue flakes. There is no availability cap for this one. I love the look of this one. This one I think is another top pick of mine this month. I love the fact that this one is this lovely bright blue, I guess, crelly base. It actually looks kind of jelly-like, but then this coordinating bright blue flake running through it is so cool. Like, I just love that appearance of it. Like, it's got a lightness, but a flash, and that particular blue is really something special. I'm loving the effect of this one. Those metallic bright blue flakes. It's something quite different. I don't have anything like this in my collection. I find that Night Owl Lacquer has had a great run of including these flakies of different types. Previously, there were a lot of multi-chrome flakies that were being used in many of the polish bases, but now we're moving into more of a like blue metallic flake, and I love the look of this one. So bright and happy, yet a little bit flashy, but there's still that lightness to it with that quality of the base. It seems almost jelly-like. It seems like it's probably a light crelly. I'd love to get my hands on this one to give it a go. This one I think is another top pick of mine. There's a few top picks this month, and I can tell you for sure that I will be shopping this month to secure many of these incredibly unique polishes. This gorgeous bright blue is by Night Owl Lacquer. I'll Pay Attention to Myself. This next polish up is by Pampered Polishes, and this one is called It's My Metal. Pampered Polishes continues their Wreck-It Ralph series with a polish inspired by Ralph's metal. It's My Metal is a molten golden bronze hollow with a scattered hollow. There is no listed availability cap for this one at this point. I think I was saying earlier that these kinds of bronze or copper colors are really quite absent from my collection. And this is one of those that is just so beautiful. The moment I saw it on the landing page of Handmade Creations, I added it to my wish list. I think this color is so beautiful and I think kind of underrated as far as a metallic goes. I think gold or silver tends to get a lot of love, but a color like this one is really special. The addition of hollow in here as well, I think would make this even better, elevate it to another level of sparkle. I find that there's something quite fresh and elegant about this polish. I find that this polish has quite an edge to it as well. It's one of those metallic colors that because I don't see it as often, there seems to be a bit of an edginess to it. I really love this look. This one, for its uniqueness in my collection, I think is another top pick of mine this month. This one is by Pampered Polishes. It's My Metal. This next polish up is by Psyche Minerals, and this one is called Wild Thing. This one is another capped pre-order polish with only 275 being made available this month. Psyche Minerals continues their children's book series with a polish inspired by Where the Wild Things Are. Wild Thing has a sheer but buildable purple tinted base loaded with red, orange, large particle aurora shimmer, purple reflective glitter, and iridescent blue, green, gold flakes. This is another one that right away when I saw it on the landing page, I added it to my wish list. I am pretty sure that this is one of those polishes in that finish that I love by Psyche Minerals. There is a reflective glitter component to it. There's an iridescent flake component to it and a shimmer component. Now, I haven't seen anywhere listed, but I kind of wondered if this is a related polish in some way to the very popular Ghastly Smell polish that Psyche Minerals released a while back as part of Polish Pickup. It seems like since the success of that gorgeous polish, formulas similar to that or similar to this one have really played a huge part in Psyche Minerals offerings, and they do it so well. This purple looks so fresh and beautiful. Definitely something I'd be especially drawn to in spring and also in summertime. Perhaps heading into fall as well, though. It's a little bit of a light color there, but that sparkles sometimes. You've got to take advantage of the waning sunshine before winter really sets in. And the inspiration for this one, Where the Wild Things Are. One thing I'm not really sure about is how Where the Wild Things Are is really playing out in the color of this polish itself. I guess perhaps in the wild things themselves or in the nighttime scene in the book, this color may play a bit of a factor. I'll have to revisit the book. I still have it at work, so I won't be able to get access to it until September. But this one is such a favorite of mine from my own childhood. I still read it every year when I teach too. It's just such a magical children's book. It really transports you to another place. It's fun, it's whimsical, and so is this polish. And I do know that it's a formula by Psyche Minerals that I adore. This gorgeous, sparkly, reflective polish is by Psyche Minerals Wild Thing. This final polish on my wish list is by Watcha Indie Polish, and this one is called Saturn. This one is another capped pre-order polish with only 150 being made available. Watcha Indie Polish continues their Solar System series. Saturn is a copper holographic magnetic with Aurora pigment. So yes, this one is another magnetic polish. I was immediately drawn in by this swatch photo, just that brown aspect to it. I think it's really quite elegant and beautiful. But then I started clicking into this even more. I have really never seen anything quite like this polish. The variation and the rainbows that I'm seeing here within this really make this polish look like something totally unique and completely special. I'm loving the contrast of that like tan or beige and that copper color. And a bunch of these swatchers do seem to be picking up a significant hollow effect with this polish. I'm seeing especially on the ring finger and pinky of this swatcher, those rainbows are really coming off the nail. Here as well, it looks quite sparkly and vibrant. Just an overall really beautiful look. I'm loving what I'm seeing here too in this swatch photo. Those little glimmers of like burning embers running within it too. This is such a cool polish. I've really never seen anything quite like it. This one might be another top pick of mine this month. I didn't expect to have quite so many top picks, so many that I desperately wanted to buy, but this month is turning out to be extraordinary. This incredible copper holographic magnetic polish is by Watcha Indie Polish, Saturn. So that's it for the 15, and actually, in fact, it's only 14 items that I have on my wish list this month. What I should do right away is scroll right down to the one I already own, the one by Cleona Cosmetics, because that isn't one that I'm going to be adding a backup of to my collection. I really shouldn't be adding backups of anything because my collection is so huge. But I do highly recommend this one, Heart of Fallen Star. It's their encore polish this month in case you don't have it, in case you were sort of thinking that maybe it might look good. It does look amazing in person. So I am going to be taking that off my wish list, but it is highly recommended. So of the ones remaining on my wish list this month, so many really unique polishes. Some of my top picks that I think for sure I'm going to be adding to my shopping cart on July 14th are Bees Knees Lacquers Okie Dokie, Indie Polish by Patti Lopez, the duo Desert Sunset and Elephants, I think, although I'll have to see how the budget works out for purchasing a duo. I'm really intrigued by Pad Lacquer's The Gambler. I feel like I have to have Moonshine Manny's Terran, the magnetic polish. Night Owl Lacquers, I'll pay attention to myself. Am I up to 5 now? I'm sensing a bit of a color theme here. I've got a lot of copper leaning polishes because I really would love to get the Pampered Polishes, It's My Metal, but also Saturn by Watcha Indie Polish. I think I see a distinct copper pull right now on my wish list. I kind of want all of them, and I really shouldn't, I don't think, be getting all of them. There's sort of a metallic trend going on there. So Watcha is 1, Pampered Polishes is 2, Night Owl Lacquer is 3, Moonshine Manny would be 4, Pad Lacquer is 5, Indie Polish by Patti Lopez, that's the duo. I'll count that just as the 6th. And Bee's Knees Lacquer. So that's 7 right now that are sitting at the top of my wish list. I will have to see how some of these compare to each other, but also to some others in my collection. I may have to think about what I'm doing there in terms of getting too many copper or metallic leaning polishes. That's a lot, actually. After not having very many in my collection, that I'm going kind of all in on these metallic polishes this month. But I guess it's also what there is. And they're all such beautiful and unique offerings this month too. Again, kudos to the makers with Hella Handmade Creations. They're really stepping it up. I'm finding the unique factor and just the inspired execution of so many of these polishes is just, it's out of this world right now. So way to go, makers. You're making this really difficult on us who are shopping. Hella Handmade Creations opens every month on the 14th of each month at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it closes on the 21st of each month at 11:59 p.m. Hawaiian Time. Those dates and times remain true this month in July. The shop is open for an entire week for your shopping pleasure, but there are a lot of items this month with availability caps, so that's something you might want to consider. Once some of these items are sold out, it is very likely that additional quantities may not be added. That may be it. A cap may be the firm limit. This month, though, there are a lot of makers that have very low availability caps. So that is something to consider. If there's something that you have your heart set on, you may want to consider making your purchase as close as you can to the shop opening time on July 14th. So I'm wondering, are you planning on shopping Hella Handmade Creations this month? If you are, which items are catching your eye? I'd also love to know all your thoughts on my picks this month. Do you have any experience with these makers? There are a few on my wish list this month where they're new to my collection brands like Arcana Lacquers, or also polishes where I don't own very many by certain makers. In that case, it's Watcha for me, as well as Lily Pad Lacquers. I'd love to know all your thoughts on my wish list. Help me out. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. Please feel free to add all your comments and we can continue on the conversation long after. If you enjoy wish listing content like this, please consider giving this video a like. By giving it a like, it indicates to me that you enjoy content like this. And in the months ahead, I will try my best to produce content similar to this as often as I can. As well, if you enjoy nail-related content in general, please consider subscribing. I release nail-related content as often as I can, and by subscribing, you won't miss out on any of the fun. Thank you so much for joining me this month. Happy shopping. Hopefully I'll see you again in the next one. Take care. Bye.